Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thanks for joining me for day 2 of the Newton's May release, kind of a sneak peek reveal. Today we are revealing a new stencil that's going to be available on Friday the 22nd. This is called the Butterfly Stencil Set, and it's a 2-piece set. It's layerable and it creates a beautiful background for your card making projects. Also new, coming soon to the shop, is the Monarch Butterfly Stamp Set. It's a 4x4 stamp set. Has 3 beautiful butterflies on there and 3 little itty bitty silhouettes with some beautiful sentiments. There's a buildable one that says fluttering by, and then you can add with a happy hello to say thank you, or with a birthday wish. There's coordinating dies you can see here. And there's one more sentiment that says wishing you a beautiful day. I love that sentiment. I wish you a beautiful day. So we're going to make a beautiful Monarch butterfly card today. I loved the large image and I thought we would color that in 3 times. So I have a piece of Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock and my Misty here. I'm going to stamp with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I might as well stamp the first part of my sentiment that says fluttering by while I'm at it. I was going to stamp the second part and said, well, I'll just stamp the first part. The second part will probably heat and emboss. So I'll just ink up my butterfly. I'm using Strathmore Bristol Smooth cardstock because we're going to use Zig Clean Color Real Brush Markers. I haven't used them in a very long time, so I thought we would create a bold butterfly with these colors. We're just going to ink up our butterfly, stamp our sentiment. I'm going to have to do it a couple times. There is some solid areas on here. And at first you would think this would be a little bit difficult to color in, but you know what, guys? It's super easy to color in this guy. I'm going to flip my page over and then we're going to stamp the butterfly a couple more times. Once all of our butterflies are stamped, we're going to do some heat embossing. When I use my Zig markers, I like to create a well or a barrier with my embossing powder, and so I'm going to go over my images with clear embossing powder, just tapping off the excess here. I'm going to use my heat gun and melt it till it's all melted and it's ready to go. Okay, after this is melted, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to play a little bit of music while I color my butterflies, which are super easy. Actually, I'm not even going to play music. I'm just using 3 markers. I'm using my red, my orange, and my yellow. I have a 24-piece set, and so originally I was going to use my water brush. For my first one here, I did. But really, guys, you don't need it. If you want a bold butterfly, don't use your water brush. I mean, it blended beautifully together, but my red turned into pink, and I didn't want that to happen. So with these two, I am just going to blend with the markers. So I added my red, added my orange, and then last I'm going to pull it all together with my yellow. And you can see the more bold color of these two versus my first one where I used my water brush. So there's my images. Super pretty and super easy. I'm going to go ahead and dry these butterflies. I'm actually going to, you can see where it turned pink. My red Zig marker turned pink. After it was dry, I'm going to go just do a redo like I did the last 2. Add my red, add my orange, and then brighten it up with the yellow. Quick and easy fix. But aren't they so pretty? So easy to color. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have the coordinating die set, so I just separate them. I'm going to die cut out all 3 of my butterflies, and then using my paper trimmer, I'm going to go ahead and block off my sentiment that says fluttering by, and so everything is ready to go. There they are. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and add some small foam adhesive squares behind the spine of my butterfly. I like to fluff up the wings of my butterfly, so adhesive in the middle is perfect. Okay, I'm not going to use the stencil backgrounds for my card today, but I want to share with you how pretty these are. So these are labeled stencil number 1, stencil number 2. I'm using stencil number 1. I already adhered my pixie spray behind it, and I adhered it to a panel that's a card front size. And then I wanted to create a gradient on each of the butterflies. So at the very top of the butterfly wings, I'm adding my Distress Oxide ink and Candied Apple. Once I have all the butterflies or the wings of the butterflies on the very top colored in, I'm going to go over the bottom portion with my squeeze lemonade. And then these are going to blend together, going from red to yellow. It's going to create an orange in the middle. You can see here. Actually, my red looks a little bit orange. Candied apple does have an orange tint to it, but if you have a darker red, I think it would look pretty, but I still like the outcome here. Okay, so there's what they look like. Now I'm going to take my stencil number 2. This is the Butterflies number 2 stencil. And it's so easy to line up, guys. Easy peasy. I mean, I had, when I originally had put my first stencil upside down. So this stencil has to be upside down too. I'm going to layer it on top. And again, I have pixie spray behind this one too. I'm going to press down. And I was a little bit hesitant about using my black Distress Oxide ink, the black soot. I was afraid I was going to ruin my butterflies, but I went for it. I'm just going to use my little finger dauber and go over the detailed areas with my black soot ink. Once it was covered, we get to do the reveal, and I loved it. It's something a little different and neat. I cleaned off my stencils with soap and water, added more pixie spray behind it, and then we're going to do it again, but this time we're going to flip-flop the colors. So on our number 1 stencil, I'm going to add my black soot ink to the most solid image. Just going to fill it all in, and then after we have the black soot adhered, I'm going to go ahead and add my stencil number 2 right over the top. This time I placed it right side up. It's easy to layer over the top. And then I'm going to basically do the same thing as I did for my first panel, but with the yellow and the red, kind of making a two-tone pattern on the very front. Now, if you wanted to take your glitter paste and go over the top, I think that would be gorgeous. If you wanted to use your white paste to go over the top, I think that would add texture and look really pretty too. But this looks nice. It's just not as bold as I thought it would be. It does pick up the colors just vaguely. Oxide ink does sit on top of each other, so you can see here it's very faint. But a couple different little options using the stencil I wanted to share with you. I'm not going to use my backgrounds today for my card, but I wanted to share with you how they look and how pretty they are. Okay, we're going to set these aside and we are going to work on our card. I'm bringing in some white and black cardstock, and we're going to use the Circle Frames die set. I'm going to use a small scallop circle, cut out a white scallop circle, and then a smaller stitched black circle to fit inside of my scallop circle here. We're going to go ahead and stamp the rest of our sentiment. For this card, I chose with a happy hello. I think that's so pretty. I just went ahead and heat embossed it with white embossing powder and went ahead and melted it and then tacked it down or layered it on my scallop panel there. Kind of skipped that part, but embossing is embossing. I'm going to fishtail the end of my sentiment here, just the right side. I'm going to go ahead and add foam adhesive behind the first part of my sentiment. We're going to add that just above our embossed sentiment here. So our sentiment will say, fluttering by with a happy hello. I think that's so pretty. Okay, originally I have my card base behind here, and originally I was going to place my butterflies on my card base, but I wanted a little extra something. So I'm bringing in the die set, the framework die set. I'm going to use the largest die from it. It has a postage edge, and I just thought it'd add a little extra detail along this border of my card. I die cut that out with white cardstock. We're going to add our sentiment, and then also we're going to pop up our sentiment first. Kind of place that on there. I had already adhered my background to my card base, so it's ready to go. And then now we can go ahead and add our butterflies, basically in the same place that I had did earlier. I like to put the wings of the butterfly covering the straight edge of my first fluttering by sentiment. Just kind of covers up that straight edge, kind of flows a little bit nicer. I have some black and white gingham ribbon. I'm just going to tie it around the base of my card, and then we're going to tie a bow off to the left. I think the ribbon goes perfect with the dots on the monarchs. I just think it looks just coordinates beautifully. Or that, if you guys don't have gingham ribbon, you could use black and white polka dot ribbon. I think that would look fabulous too. Okay, we're going to add some sparkle to the wings of the butterfly. We're going to do that after we add sequins. I have some clear sequins. We're just going to add a few here and there. And I think I added a little too many, so I'm going to remove some. Sometimes I go overboard. I'm going to add doubled up on that one. But I think that looks pretty and just the right amount of pizzazz. And then using my aqua shimmer pen, we're going to add some sparkle to the wings of the butterfly. And you'll want to be careful when you use your shimmer pen because it does move the watercolor ink underneath it. I wanted that bold to be yellow to be bold, so I was careful to go over that. But that is my project for today, using the brand new Monarch Stamp Set over at the Newton's Nook Design Shop. And there is a chance to win this set, guys. Details for that are over on my blog if you want to check it out, or it's over on the Newton's Nook Design blog. But I hope you enjoyed my project. Have a fabulous day, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.